Hi, I'm Graham and welcome to Man vs Film. This is the top 10 list of horror movies that you can watch this October on Netflix UK.
Man vs Film.
There is lots of horror movies on Netflix you can watch this month of October to really get your horror fill, and I know I'll be delving into a lot of these as well. A lot of them are rewatches for me, but there's really comfort movies this time of year that I want to watch, that I really love to watch. So I've created a top 10 list of horror movies that you must watch this month, and I've also got honourable mentions because there's a lot of horror movies on there, like I said, that you have to check out. On my list, I have concluded that it has to be hard horror movies. You know, not comedy horror, not romantic horror, not anything like that. It just has to be hard horror movies. So the honourable mentions are movies that should, you know, they're classified as horror movies, but they didn't make it onto my top 10 because of those rules that I put upon myself. So here are the honourable mentions you should check out. Idle Hands, a great horror comedy starring Jessica Alba and David Sawa. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, a really weird and wacky movie from the 80s that I've seen several times and it still freaks me the hell out. It's just a strange film. Tucker and Dale vs Evil, another horror comedy that's actually really good and worth checking out. Starry Eyes, which is a movie that you should know nothing about going into. It is absolutely fantastic. The Babadook, which I recently spoke about before, it's a different kind of horror. It's not full of scares, it's more a built-up of atmosphere. Night of the Comet, a 1984 classic movie. Stephen King's Thinner, starring Robert Burke, about a man, an obese man who messes with a gypsy and starts to lose all his weight. The Omen 1 and 2 are on Netflix. These are fantastic movies, especially the first one. It's a really strong horror film. And a movie that would top my list if I could put it on it, and a movie that I demand that you check out this month. It's just recently appeared on Netflix, and that movie is Spring. And Spring is without doubt possibly the favourite movie I have seen this year. It is absolutely tremendous. I've watched it twice and I think it is absolutely amazing. Now, Spring is a story about a man touring through Europe. He meets up with an Italian woman. They form a bonding relationship, but there's something monstrous going on as well. If I could best describe it, it would be Before Sunset meets a monster movie. It is absolutely amazing and a fantastic movie. Check that one out. So on to our top 10 of horror movies for this month. Straight in at number 10 is the movie that kicked off all the found footage movies, and that is The Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project is about 3 people that go into the woods to find this witch who ultimately haunts them, and things happen. It's a slow build. There's not a great deal of horror in it. It's more atmosphere again, and it's interesting to see where all the found footage movies start from. It's an interesting film. I don't know if it's held up the test of time, but it's still a good film to see. Number 9 is Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. His triumphant return to horror movies was absolutely fantastic, grotesque, terrifying, but kind of funny at the same time. It's a great movie, but I'm just, you know, not 100% on that ending. Number 8 is Insidious 1 and 2. Now I take this as the full tale because it is a 2-part story. The second one takes off straight from the first one, and it's about a child who gets haunted. Fantastic, one of the best horror movies in recent years, really scary, really atmospheric, and a real treat. Number 7 is the only good movie that Paul W.S. Anderson has ever made, and that is Event Horizon starring Sam Neill. It's about a haunted spaceship, and it's really good. Now, the only way I did it about that Paul W.S. Anderson thing is I do kind of like Mortal Kombat. Anyway. Number 6 is Ginger Snaps, a Canadian movie about a young girl who hits puberty, gets attacked by a wolf, and is becoming a werewolf herself. It doesn't sound like much, but it's a really interesting tale. Spawned 2 sequels. Fantastic movie. Number 5 is Fright Now. Am I talking about the original? Am I talking about the remake? Both. I love both these movies, and I think I love them both for different reasons. I like the original's kind of comedic tones, I like the characters in it, I like the relationship values, but I really like the second one as well. The remake, I think they did something a bit different with it. David Tennant's character, I think Colin Farrell is fantastic as Jerry, the vampire. Anton Yelchin is fantastic in the second one, but then I do love, you know, all the characters. In the first one, Chris Sarandon is the vampire. I do like Roddy McDowall as the vampire hunter. It's a strange dichotomy. It's a strange thing for us to like both movies equally, but I think they're both enjoyable, and I think you should check them both out. Number 4 is Wes Craven's Scream. I absolutely adore Scream. I think it's a fantastic movie. I have seen it countless times over the year. And by the way, just in case you're wondering, if you have Netflix, it's just dropped the full first season of the Scream TV series, which I will be delving into straight away. I can't wait to watch that season. Scream for me is a fantastic movie. It just showed you how Wes Craven could for me, he created the genre, he created a significant horror character with A Nightmare on Elm Street. He reimagined horror as a whole meta substance with New Nightmare, and he took it another step further and rejuvenated horror with Scream. I mean, how many people could have said that they've had such a positive effect on a genre, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Scream is a great movie. Number 3 is a movie I just saw for the first time last year, and I wasn't too sure about it, but when I rewatched it, I found that I really did enjoy it, and that is Re-Animator. It is gory, fun, and just a real treat. Number 2 on my list is another Stephen King movie, and that is The Mist. The Mist was directed by Frank Darabont, and it's a tale about this town that gets attacked by some strange mist with creatures inside it, and they hole up in a supermarket, and it's really great. Unfortunately, it's just the basic version that's on Netflix, but if you do have the Blu-ray, you get the option of watching the black and white version, which is really creepy, and I quite enjoy watching that one more than the colourised version. But it is a great film with a really bleak ending. And number 1 for horror movies on Netflix that you have to check out, the best for me, is An American Werewolf in London, an absolutely fantastic movie by John Landis with some great special effects that still hold up today. The werewolf transformation is a thing of grotesque beauty. It is an absolute thing to be seen. It is a great movie, great soundtrack, great performances, and a great tale to be told. It's something you should really see. So that's the movies that you should check out this month on Netflix, and I hope you enjoy it. And it's horror month, so time to celebrate for all those horror fans out there. If there's any movies that you can suggest that I need to watch this month during October, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to check out any horror movies, especially at this time of year. And I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.
Man versus Film.